And we live, and the GPT store is going to be officially going live in a couple of days time. And there are a couple things that you need to know to better prepare yourself, to be able to leverage this. Okay. And that's what I'm going to be going through in a bit. Okay. So, we all got this email, and yeah, a couple things that they said we should do in order to make sure that we're leveraging the best thing, or we're prepared the most we can. So here's the first thing. So review our updated usage policies and GPT brand guidelines. So let's go over it in a bit. This is the usage policies. I'm going to put a link in the description too. We've recently updated our usage policies, and there are a couple disallowed usages that they have specified. A couple things like obviously legal activity, child sexual abuse, generation of hateful, arousing of violent content. These are like the basic things that you should not do in any public platform. Okay, but they did mention it again just to remind. And yeah, go through it. It's very important because we don't want all the hard work to just go to waste. So they also have further requirements for certain uses of our models. There's consumer facing uses of our models. So obviously most of us are going to be creating this. And if it's going to be in the medical, financial, or legal industry or news generation industry, disclaimer must be, there to inform users that AI is being used, so that they know of the potential limitations. Okay, it's very, very important, right? And obviously, use of model helping in live streams, demonstrations, and research subject to our sharing and publication policy. So you're going to be using it for live streams or demonstrations or research. Please go through this, okay? Because I assume they're going to be very strict, because they're trying to build a platform. They want to make it the highest quality possible, and we don't want to fall on the bad side, okay? So go through it. For plugin policy. So I did a video about action bots, right? I'll put a link somewhere. You can go check it out to understand more about this. But if you're going to be using a plugin with your AI, your AI ChatGPT bot, right? That's basically linking your bot with other maybe third-party softwares, right? Like Canva or YouTube or whatever it is, right? It is very important, right, that you go through this policy. So let's see. The plugin manifest must have a clearly stated description that matches the functionality of the API. It's very important. You don't include irrelevant, unnecessary, or deceptive terms or instructions in the plugin. Obviously, don't use plugin to circumvent or interfere with OpenAI's safety system. You should also not use plugins to automate conversations with real people, and plugins that distribute personal communications or content generated by ChatGPT. So it's really important that you take privacy, because the majority of this is about privacy, to make sure that information is not being used or abused. Very important. And we all are most likely going to be using a couple plugins with some of our bots, right? So you want to make sure you're not on the bad side of this, okay? And yeah, basically that's it, right? It's nothing new. It's just a reminder that we need to, put this thing into consideration when creating our bots, because you definitely can earn a lot if you do this properly. So now let's move over to the brand guidelines, which is still the first point, but the second element of that. So yeah, the OpenAI name and the OpenAI logo, the ChatGPT or ChatGPT brands or GPT brands, and other OpenAI trademarks are property of OpenAI. Very important to know this. So these guidelines are intended to help our partners, resellers, customers, developers, consultants, and the likes understand how to use and display our trademarks and copyrighted work. So they provided their logos over here that you can download, right, and use. Because if you're an active customer building their series, right, you need to put this there. So if you are building OpenAI's series of bots or the likes, this needs to be put there. That's not us, but it's just in case you are. So best practices when using a badge, it's there, everything on the likes, right? So here's what we are more concerned with, right? The language. So if your company or product should appear first, followed by an OpenAI or the model, you can do this powered by OpenAI, built on OpenAI, developed on OpenAI, and you don't do this. So you don't name it this way. They want it to be named this way. Right? Pretty straightforward. Okay, so just remember that. Models, right? So if you refer to specific models, please use the proper model name. So do identify and refer to the appropriate models, the likes, and don't do this. Okay, this is pretty straightforward things, but just to make sure that you're not messing it up. So GPTs and ChatGPTs and the like. So custom version of ChatGPT that you can create for a specific purpose with instruction expanded knowledge are available to ChatGPT users. They have a short name for display. If the GPT is part of an existing service and providers or a subset, it is recommended the GPT be named the same. For example, if the service is called Mulytics, then the GPT should be called Mulytics. If instead the GPT is providing support for the service, then consider appending on the name Multics API helper. Okay, but the most important thing, if something already exists and is created by OpenAI, you definitely want to name it the same, or you want to add the specific thing it does to the name. Okay, a GPT may not use another organization's trademark in its name or logo unless they are authorized to do so. So what that means, if you are creating a GPT for Canva, for example, you can't put Canva in the name because it's trademarked. Okay, so you got to be creative about it. So plugins, when referring to plugins on GPTs, do Backbyte plugin for GPT, Backbyte ChatGPT plugin. Don't Backbyte plugin for OpenAI, Backbyte plugin compatible with, you get the gist. So this is a really important thing to go through, because there are a couple do's and don'ts. Myself, I'm still going to go through this exhaustively, but please just make sure any GPTs you want to put on, just make sure you go through this to make sure you are not missing anything. Okay, it's a little bit much, but it's worth it, right? So there it is. So that's the first thing you should do. Okay, going through the usage policies and GPT brand guidelines. The links in the description. The next is verify your builder profile. So we're going to be going there in a bit. Okay, so how you want to do this is you want to go over to where your name is at the bottom left. You click it, you go to settings and better. Then you move over to builder profile. Okay, and as you can see, name over here, this is website. So I'm going to link a website, a domain link now, because obviously you want to have a domain, a website where they go to kind of get traffic, apart from money that you want to get. Okay, so it's quite important as for privacy and the likes. So select a domain, you click on verify a new domain, and it's going to ask you to put in your domain name. I click on submit. Then it's going to ask you to verify ownership of the domain name. So basically, this is a TXT record. You have to copy and paste it in your DNS provider, your cPanel. I know it sounds a little bit technical for some, but trust me, it's not. If you have a web developer or the likes, you can allow them to help you do this, right? You just do this, but I'm going to be showing you in a bit. So I use Namecheap. That's the hosting provider I use, so I'm going to be using that. But you could also check other videos to see if you want to, if you are using GoDaddy or the likes. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So you copy this and move over to my cPanel, right? And I just search for TXT, move over to Zone Editor, which I've opened over here already. And this is the domain name I want to add my TXT to. So I'll click on manage, and I'll click on add a record. And as you can see, valid my type. I want to make sure this is TXT. This is the record. I make sure it's there. So here we are. So once you've done this, right, obviously you want to make sure again this is TXT, this TTL, you leave it at 1.2. And over here you want to make sure you put the domain name. So the domain name I'm putting this for is boldsearch.co. Made a mistake. Yeah. So this is what you do, and you click save record. I've already created it. If you look at the bottom over here. So I'm not going to add it again. Okay, so you do this, then you click on save, right? So I'm going to cancel this because I've created it already. So once you've done that, typically it takes about on or before 30 minutes for it to propagate, because it takes a little bit of time for it to be, to work, to connect, to make sure it works perfectly. So to verify ownership of both, you just navigate to your DNS provider and add a TXT record. So once you've done this, you click on check, and your domain name, as you can see, both which has been successfully verified. This is it. So you click on done. So once I'm done with that, I just turn this on, right? Then obviously selected already, right? And I'll turn this off because I don't want my name to be there. I want it to be the website. So if they click on it, can obviously I also want to receive. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. You could easily cancel it, and that has been updated. So if we go over to the third one, which is, let me go back to our email, right? So we verified this, and the next is to publish your GPT. So the third and last not least, you move over here to explore. This is where you have your GPTs, right? And as you can see, obviously most of the one I've created are only me, right? And if I go back to this email, they said publish your GPT as public, because GPTs with anyone with a link selected will not be shown in the store. So what that simply means is that, let's say I want to edit this, for example. As you can see, it's only me, so it's not going to be showing in the store, right? I just go over here. So once you've done with the GPTs, again, like I said, I have a video about this. If you want to go in depth on how to create GPTs and the like, the link will be above. So over here, move over and you click on everyone. right? So because if you select only me or anyone with the link, it's not going to be shared in the GPT store. So as you can see, it's kind of not available for me over here. And the reason why is because, let me go back to, the reason why is because the builder profile hasn't completed yet. As you can see, complete verification to publish GPTs to everyone. So verify your identity by adding billing details or verifying ownership of a public domain. So I've done this, right? But it's still not, as you can see, it's still not going through. So what I'm going to do is just leave it for a couple of, for a bit. Hopefully it does get updated, or I might just have to use my name for the time being, but that will be a subject for another day. But typically this should go through, and this is all you have to do to make sure it goes ahead. So I hope you've been able to find value to this. As like I said previously, these are the three things that we have to make sure we are doing. Review our updated, make sure the policies and the brand guidelines are followed. You want to make sure you check it out. Verify your builder profile and publish your GPTs as public. These are the three things that we've completed, and with all this, you should be able to have your GPTs accepted and live in the App Store or on the GPT Store. Multiple reasons why I want to do this. You can earn, but also you can send traffic to your website and, you know, again, earn. So I hope you found this useful. Again, you can check out the video I did about GPTs. If this is still giving you a problem, you could always just message them to let them know, right? I'm probably going to do that if I wait a bit and this doesn't get approved. Okay, so there you have it. Hope you found this useful. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're planning to do with GPTs. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys GPTs on the store, and I will see you in the next video.